Hi, I'm Lance and I'm with Street Bishops, and you can find us at streetbishops.com. And today's topic is, well, the overall topic, of course, is how to start your ministry. But today's topic, the topic of this video, is how do you measure success, right? How do you measure success? Now, when you start a ministry, as I've asked you to do earlier, you'll want to do it programmatically. Start with a small, narrow program of your overall mission, and then move forward. So the example we've been using, or we used in last video, was single parents, maybe unwed mothers, unwed fathers who are struggling to work and take care of their child and that type of thing. So say that's your focus, that's your area, that's your avatar, is the unwed parent. And your goal is to provide services to them, to develop relationship, and then through that relationship, then they come to know you as a Christian, and they come to know that the reason that you're assisting them is because Christ has asked you to do it, and the people who follow Christ want to serve and act like Christ and help others, right? So the idea is not just Jesus, 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 Jesus. Do you know Jesus? Do you have Jesus in your life? Blah, 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 blah. It's more like, this is how a Christian acts, walks, and talks. And if this is appealing to you, then I'd like to tell you about Christ. Right? It's a whole different approach to ministry and evangelism. Now, so your ministry, you might think a ministry is having church on Sunday morning. Well, that's sort of a self-serving, let's just all love Jesus kind of get together. That, to me, that's nice, but that's not, that can't be the spearhead of your ministry. The spearhead of your ministry is serving the people, doing as Christ did, and being out with the people. So when you do your programs, you're going to want to know, you're going to need to know, what does success look like when you're doing ministry work? Now, I'm going to say a few things that may be controversial, but that's just the way it is. You know, you can take it or leave what I say, but how many people on any one day or any one week or month get down their knees and say, I want Jesus in my life? That, to me, is not success. That's not how to measure the success of a program, right? Because if they say in 1 minute, I want Jesus in my life, and then they don't have the support or they don't have the relationship with people to help them grow in that, in 24 hours, it may be gone, and they don't think of it again until the next time somebody asks them to get on their knees. And that's not effective evangelism to me. And that's not an ethical way to bring someone to know Christ. I think that you bring them through relationship. So when you're doing your programs, you're going to want to analyze, when you're out and about, the continuing relationships that occur, and say, am I not just having one-off people say, yes, I'll accept Jesus? Am I having people in relationship over time who then have an opportunity to see me acting as Christ, and are either joining me in my activities or asking me to tell them about the Lord? That's relationship, and that, to me, is success. So let's talk a minute about how that might be operationalized. So say we're doing a feeding program. So our goal is to feed the people I live in Volusia County, Florida. So let's say my goal is to develop relationship with those in need in Volusia County who need feeding, okay? And specifically, my particular target area, my avatar, is the struggling man or woman who is typically just hanging out on the street or sleeping on the street out around the J store down on South Ridgewood in Daytona, okay? So that's my area, that's my focus. So that's gonna be my focus. Because what I want, success defined by me, define it ahead of time, success would be to, every time I go to deliver sandwiches, that additional people, or the same people, but 3, 4, 5 people, however many you feel comfortable with, begin to see your vehicle or your truck or whatever you're driving, and they come to you, right? Yes, they're coming for the sandwich. They know they're going to get a sandwich from you. They know there's going to be a cheeseburger in the bag, okay? They also know there's going to be a note in the bag that says you love them and that Jesus loves them. But over time, you'll get to know their story. And you'll speak with them and they'll tell you how they got on the street, because you'll want to ask them, how'd you get here? Where you come from? Do you have family? Where you come from? What's your struggle? You have conversation. You give them the sandwich, but you have conversation. And eventually you get to know them and they get to know you, because you're the ones acting as Christ, bringing them a sandwich once a week, once every 3 days, every day, whatever your program allows for. And so then at the end of the day, when you come home and you're writing up your after action report on your business plan for that day, and you're able to write down, I saw Bob again, and Bob finally went to social services. I advised him that he could do that, and we helped him get to social services. But Bob, got to social services, and he got, this, whatever he needs, whatever. Jane came by, and she was really blessed. She says she's very blessed by the food that we bring, and that she loves seeing us, and she loves just having somebody to speak with. You write down evidence of relationship. Evidence of relationship. Because through your relationship with them, they will ask about Jesus. Because they will see Christly behavior in action. There is so much talk about Christianity, so much talk about religion, so much talk about church and what the God Squad is doing in the church. How often are people talking about their relationships with the churched or the unchurched, more importantly, the unchurched? You can hang around all the Christians you want, and I'm not sure what good that does. I mean, you're hanging out with Christians, you're not bringing people to know Jesus, are you? But when you're hanging around people who may not, we don't know, we can't see in someone's mind, they may be devout Christians and we don't know it. But where through the evidence of their lives and the struggle, they may not be focusing, we may not think they're focusing on Christ. And so through our relationship, we are able to then give the backdrop, because that's always the major goal, no matter what your ministry is, no matter what your mission is. The backdrop is having them come to know Christ. That's not the mission. That's just the unspoken reason we exist. The mission is feeding people, doing whatever we do. So when you do your after action report, you're going to want to document, how do you see relationships developing? So it may happen a teeny bit on the first sandwich delivery, a little bit more on the second, but remember the rules of 3. The first time is an anomaly. The second time, it's getting interesting. The third time, it must be real. That's how a lot of us will react to interactions with people. The first time, I don't know, looked good, sounded good, maybe it's good. The second time we interact with them, that's interesting. There's consistency between the first time and the second time. This person does seem kind of nice. By the third time you interact and give that sandwich, that individual knows you mean business. And they're going to see that your consistent behavior is service. Now, if all they see is that, and you're wearing the shirt that says Christ sent me, or Jesus sent me, right? And you've got consistent behavior, and you're being Christ-like, and you're using wonderful words, and you're staying positive, and you're focusing on love with them, that's success. That will lead to them asking you about Jesus. That will show them that being a Christian has impact. That is success. So how do we measure success in our program? We're going to look at our after action reports. We're going to analyze the conversations we have with people when we're there. It's not about how much we talk about Jesus. That's not where success is measured, because talk is just talk. It's about the context of what we're saying. If we're talking about Jesus to explain why we're out giving the sandwiches, that's talk about Jesus that really, where the rubber meets the road. If we're talking about Jesus because they feel alone and we want to let them know, well, there may be nobody here physically for you, but spiritually, the Spirit of God is with you. So try not to feel as lonely. Or when you do feel lonely, close your eyes and meet God for a few minutes. You know, that's the conversation that counts, not trying to convert them in the parking lot. So measuring success, each of us will have our own discrete way of measuring success. I'm encouraging you to measure it the way I do. This is the way Lance measures success. You may measure it by the number of people that get down on their knees and accept Jesus, and that's great. Not my thing. That's just, to me, that's here today, gone tomorrow, whatever. Because I've seen it. For decades, I've seen it. But I've also seen for decades where relationship leads to long-lasting questions about the Lord and brings people to have that lifestyle and to want to accept Christ and then follow the Holy Spirit through their day. So measure success by what you experience through relationship. Document that as much as you can in your after-action reports after every event, which each business plan document the relationship. It's you know, this is another one of those videos where I'm asking you to write things down, because you have to document in order to analyze over time. You have to document if you're going to go to somebody and ask them to invest their hard-earned money into your ministry. Because it's a different thing if you just sit down over a cup of coffee and say, would you contribute $100 today to my ministry? It's quite a different thing if you have videos to show them on your phone, pictures to show them on your phone, reports, copies of reports to give to them about your action plan, your budget, the after action reports. You give that kind of information to people, you're going to get money. That's fundraising. When you fundraise from evidence and you let people know that, look, you can help me develop my successes because I developed these relationships, and you can help me develop more relationships if you can't come along with me, or if you want to come along with me also. The way you can is you write me a check for $100, and that'll allow me to do this 3 times more, or this will allow me to touch at least a dozen more people in a very meaningful long-term way. And which means that even after you give me that $100, I'm going to come back to you in a month, and I'm going to show you in writing what that $100 has done in the lives of other people that we're trying to develop a relationship with and bring to Christ. So we're not writing all this down just as an exercise. We're writing down because we learn from it, we measure success from it, which is what this video is about, and that will lead to success in fundraising and gathering more donors, gathering more volunteers, gathering more advisors. That's how you grow a ministry, okay? But this video is about success specifically, and success comes, I believe, through developing relationships with people who do not know the Lord, or who may not, or we don't know, but developing new relationships with people through whom they can see us do the Christ walk. And after all, that's what we are commanded to do, and that is success for us. Keep in mind, even if not one person comes to know the Lord from our activities, if we and our volunteers are acting as Christ in what we do, isn't that success? Isn't that what we're commanded to do? So it's not only what we are doing to follow Christ, it's ideally developing relationship with others and helping them see what Jesus looks like in action, so that they may then come to know the Lord. So that's on success today, how to measure it. I hope that was helpful. You know, you can always come see me at streetbishops.com. So I want to thank you for coming by and watching this video today. Please be sure to click on the subscribe button below if you're watching this on YouTube. And I want you to also mark the bell so you get notifications. If you're watching this video somewhere else, head on over to YouTube, to Street Bishops, that channel, and go ahead and subscribe while you're there so that you can get additional videos. And you can come by our Facebook page at Street Bishops. And so we just want to connect with you and hear from you often. You can also write to me at secretary@streetbishops.com. Have a great day, and we look forward to seeing you in our next video.